According to multiple reports, Conor McGregor's $185,000 Bentley Continental GT was recently temporarily seized after the UFC star was arrested in Dublin on an allegation of dangerous driving this past week. Of course, for many, this comes as no surprise. Conor McGregor is notorious for getting in trouble and being a controversial figure. Additionally, we will also dive into other relevant, interesting UFC news that you don't want to miss. First up, Conor McGregor was pulled over for dangerous driving and his insanely expensive Bentley was seized as well. Here's everything you need to know. According to the Irish Independent, who broke the story, Conor McGregor's $185,000 Bentley was temporarily impounded after the UFC star was arrested and charged in Dublin over dangerous driving. However, we can now report that he has since got his luxury car back. McGregor, who happens to be a very popular, controversial former two-weight UFC champion, was detained but quickly released on bail. The Independent was told by McGregor's attorneys that he was stopped for various driving offenses, which doesn't come as a surprise at all as he has had 18 previous convictions, with a vast majority being driving related. According to the Irish Independent, a spokeswoman claimed that McGregor was on his way to the gym when Gardaí pulled him over for apparent traffic offenses. He passed the station's drug and alcohol test with flying colors but was charged with unsafe driving and will appear in court in April. Now, things probably aren't looking too good for the UFC star in terms of getting off lightly. McGregor has 18 previous convictions. The UFC All-Star is said to have been charged with hazardous driving, which carries a maximum sentence of 6 years behind bars and a fine of $5,500 or both if found guilty. McGregor's identity was not released, but police said they arrested a guy in his 30s in connection with reckless driving in the Palmerstown district of Western Dublin. McGregor has a long history of traffic violations and run-ins with the law. He was arrested and fined by the same court for speeding back in 2017. In yet another conviction, McGregor attempted to get at rival UFC fighter Khabib Nurmagomedov by throwing a dolly at a bus in Brooklyn back in 2018. Several fighters who were also passengers were injured in the incident. Adding to his poor legal rap sheet, McGregor allegedly punched Fascinetti for no reason and broke his nose at a party while in Rome last year, according to the Italian DJ. According to various online sources, most of his convictions were for traffic violations, but one was for assault. In fact, the actual assault charge on his record stemmed from an altercation on the VMA's red carpet in New York earlier this month. On the video, McGregor is seen throwing a drink at rapper Machine Gun Kelly before referring to him as a little vanilla boy. According to various online sources, most of his convictions were for traffic violations, but one was for assault. Next, UFC owners earn £330 million while paying Paddy Pimblett just £9,000. The next story we have for you highlights a common issue within the UFC. Fighters are being grossly underpaid. In 2021, UFC owners Ari Emanuel and Patrick Whitesell earned a combined £330 million, $430 million US dollars, but top fighters like Paddy Pimblett only received a fraction of that. Emanuel is the CEO of Endeavor, the parent company that paid £3 billion for the UFC in 2016. According to SEC filings, Emanuel was paid about $234 million, $307 million USD last year, while executive chairman Whitesell was paid more than $93 million, $121 million USD. According to the Wall Street Journal, Emanuel's salary is higher than that of all other Hollywood executives and is the highest of any CEO in the S&P 500. For many long years, the compensation of UFC fighters has been a contentious and controversial issue. For the past decade, the promotion has held its income share with its fighters at roughly 17%, but that amount was increased to 20% in 2021. Despite Emanuel's eye-popping pay last year, the most basic UFC fighter payment is £9,000, $11,000 USD for showing, and £9,000 for winning. Despite being one of the promotion's top attractions, UFC lightweight Paddy Pimblett has a salary package just like this. Pimblett most recently fought in March of this year at UFC London, where his celebrity status helped the event bring a record-breaking $3.4 million gate, the largest in O2 Stadium and fight night history. Pimblett was only guaranteed £9,000, $11,000 USD, for his appearance before any sort of win or performance incentive. According to Emanuel, the UFC's best financial year since its inception was in 2021. When asked about the growth of fighter pay in contrast to the total revenue base, he said that it had climbed by 600% since 2005 and refused to debate the topic. Pimblett has stated that he will not fight a top-ranked 155-pound contender until the UFC offers him a new contract that is actually worth his time and effort. The baddie expressed his expectation that following his next bout, the promotion will be able to pay him more money, and we certainly don't blame him. He is the star fighter currently, bringing in all the pay-per-view buys, so he should definitely be receiving adequate compensation, along with the other UFC fighters who put their life on the line every day for this sport. Now, we thought it would only be right to mention some of the best matches that are set for April, since we have just entered this new month. Stay tuned for fight dates and details you definitely don't want to miss. First up on our list is probably the most highly anticipated bout heading into April, the fight between Volkanovski and the Korean Zombie. For a brief moment, Volkanovski was set to face former champion Max Holloway in a third fight at UFC 272, but Holloway later revealed that he was injured and the lineup was shuffled, with the Korean Zombie stepping up to the challenge for featherweight gold for a second time, and the fight was moved to the main event of this month's pay-per-view. Volkanovski is on a 20-fight winning streak, which includes all 10 of his UFC appearances, 3 straight title fights, and, of course, each of his first 2 title defenses. He's 3-0 versus past UFC champions, and his 2 dominant wins over top contenders Chad Mendes and Brian Ortega in that time, demonstrating one of the most comprehensive skill sets in the sport. While, on the other hand, when Anthony Pettis was forced to withdraw from his scheduled fight with Aldo, Young, aka the Korean Zombie, fought for the featherweight belt for the first time ever in 2013. The 35-year-old divisional veteran is 7-3 in the octagon and 3-1 in his previous 4 outings, coming off a unanimous win over Dan Ige last summer. This is one fight you certainly do not want to miss, so make sure to mark it on your calendars and let us know who you think will take home the victory. The next big fight to look out for in April is between Gilbert Burns and Khamzat Chimaev. Burns bounced back from his title loss to former colleague Kamaru Usman last February with a one-sided decision victory over Stephen Thompson this summer, improving his record to 5-1 since switching to the 170-pound weight class, and 7-1 in his last 8 fights. The Brazilian has grown into a well-rounded, formidable force in every aspect of the sport, with the poise, experience, and finishing prowess to make him the most dangerous opponent Chimaev has ever faced. After bursting onto the scene in 2020 with 2 wins in 10 days on Fight Island, the 27-year-old Chimaev has added a pair of one-sided wins against Gerald Meerschaert and Li Jingliang to his portfolio, bringing his overall record to 10-0. He's kept his word so far, smashing everyone, but now he takes another step up in competition, with everyone watching to see if he can keep his unbeaten, unfazed march to the top of the division going against Burns. Because there is still some ambiguity about Chimaev's ceiling, this is fantastic matchmaking, and without a doubt the most interesting battle of the month. We can't wait to see who will take home the win on April 10th. And finally, Luki and Muhammad will rematch after more than 6 years and a combined 24 bouts, this time as top 5 welterweights, hoping to deliver the kind of performance that will earn them a championship opportunity. Luki comes on a 4-fight winning streak and has won 10 of his previous 12 fights. Luki won the first meeting at UFC 205 via first-round knockout, with a dexterous ability to knock up chokes in a flash and the fortitude and grit to negotiate his way through difficult periods and still get the job done. The Brazilian is one of the most dangerous and durable fighters in the game. Muhammad has only lost once in his 12 fights since losing to Luki at Madison Square Garden, and comes into this main event with back-to-back victories and a 7-fight winning run. As you can see, they are both strong fighters, so it's no guessing who will take home the victory between these two. Instead, you will just have to tune in on the 17th of this month. And there you have it, everything you need to know about Conor McGregor and how his $185,000 Bentley was seized after he was arrested for dangerous driving. Make sure to let us know your thoughts down below. Which one of these stories surprised you the most? Do you think McGregor needs to settle down at this point? Let us know. But if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching.